Immediately kicked.
As lead judge for the mock trial upcoming Saturday, the state versus.
So lame. These people are so fucking lame to hear every day talking. Thank God I had like music to free from this shit.
Think that way. So if you add on poverty and dysfunction, lack of fathers, you have a recipe. You got a stew for disaster. This is what you have. So it's like if you can't sit back and it's constructive. This is between black people and you can't say that when you consider to be anti-black. You can't say it would be a good thing. You can't say it's good. So, if you're successful as a white person, you did it in spite of your race. If you're a person, it's because of your race.
That's what we need. We can't come sit here and house all my mother and all. We understood.
is the issue right now. 10% of the population controls 50% of the wealth. And in the name of monetization, they keep
We can sit around and argue about that, but I think like it's bigger than race.
Yeah, it's called $40 trillion in debt. The country's broke. Nobody gives a fuck about black people or white people. They kicked me. Lamarck.
I did not prepare for the test.
Okay, this is called Clubhouse Sucks and You Suck. Meditate Now. This app is honestly a horrific hypnotic cesspool of losers who are really stuck in their pattern. And I have a Santor here, which is helping me break free from the mind control of the cell phone and of your stupid voices talking about nothing. Literally talking about the same shit every day. And if you ain't talking about the black man, you ain't talking about the Jews. It's just unfucking believably stupid. And I thank God that I some kind of have a life a little bit outside of this fucking piece of shit face fucking losers and their stupid fucking names and their stupid fucking profiles. The stupid fucking never ending circle jerk of the song that never ends. I am the hypnosis destroyer here to liberate you from your pattern of being pathetic. And fucking beyond pathetic, you all. This app is a collection of schmucks. I myself may be the king of the schmucks, but I'm free. I'm finally free from all these morons. Here we go. This is Clown House Sucks, and you suck. Meditate now. I declare this Freemason and Zionist tabernacle and temple procession closed. Go in peace, go in joy, go in strength. Courage! 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 You are all deeply hypnotized in a powerful Zionic Freemasonic hypnosis. The superpower of the universe is coming inside your tuchus and going up your spinal column to your pineal gland to release all of the creamy delights of that chocolate milk we call life. Clownhouse is a disease of the mind, a powerful mimetic mind virus which is keeping you in a hypnotic trance, letting you talk with stupid people all day long. People who have nothing better to do with their lives than to come on here and talk about black people all day long, white people all day long. Little do they know that their government is completely broke and selling them down a river on a slave barge. Your children's future will not exist. They will become slaves of the banking empire, the industrial complex known as the Federal Reserve and Chairman Powell. You are all now free as Americans to engage in subversive activity to bring down your failed, debt-ridden government which has enslaved you, your children, and grandchildren for the next 150 years. This is your Zionistic Freemasonic empire. He ain't wrong. He right. Motherfucker making a lot of sense. We spend all our time fighting each other, talking about nothing, wasting all our time when we should be at the Federal Reserve protesting Congress and the Federal Reserve. Your congressman and congresswoman has sold you a bill of goods and put you in debt. Everybody here owes over $600,000 large to the Federal Reserve. You're a slave and you don't even know it. You just don't understand modern monetary economic policy. You don't understand the nuance. Hello? Hello?
This has been your Freemasonic, Zionistic musical performance to help liberate you from your slavery. Just let it go and let the music sink in and let the brain rot flow out. Most Clubhouse users are brain rot sufferers who have been looking at their phones for 5+ years in despair, looking for a solution to a never-ending problem. You are that problem. Delete the Clown House app today and free yourself, at least for the summer. You could all be at the beach or reading a book or reading a gym, but no, you're here listening to stupid people chirp like birds. They don't even have a nest. All they do is chirp. They never sleep. They never eat. They never poop. This is a mind virus app. Free yourself before it's too late. All communication is hypnosis. You have been hypnotized by each other. Free yourself from yourself. There's no such thing as Freemasonry or Zionism. There's only these things called books and people that read them. Who the fuck are you? You're someone who probably doesn't read books anymore. You're probably a brain rot sufferer. This has been your Secret Societies and the Origin of Freemasons and Zionists. Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hello? 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 Let's see what the chat is saying. Let's see what the brain rot sufferer is saying. It's going to rice. That's interesting. Air is the primordial element. Air is in the water and in the air. It's just different form. All elements are God. Ooh. Or maybe you shouldn't say shit because when you do that, karma gonna get you, son. What's her name? Some positive rice. But it was just great. Homeless would have took any rice. Consumer to be consumed. So we're just out here drinking, guys. This is funny, chat. Okay, this is your Secret Societies, the origin of Freemasons and Zionism. Also stupidity and low IQ positive vibrations. Or low IQ negative vibrations, I should say. Let's turn it from a negative to a positive. I wish I could say that your journey has come to an end, but for most of you, it has probably just begun. But that's okay. Delete the Clownhouse app today and free yourself from the low IQ mind virus known as you, yourself. Read a book, go to the gym, go to the beach, pick your toes in Poughkeepsie, do something with your life other than talking to ignorant racists here on this stupid fucking app. That's right. You are the problem. Not Jews, not blacks, not whites. You. The public. The public sucks. And you are most definitely part of that mind virus project known as the public. It's not too late, though, to free yourself from yourself. Delete the app today and just go on with your life. This is nothing but a hypnosis app. I hope you're enjoying my comedy and waking the fuck up. That's right. You'll never meet anybody more intelligent than me on this app. And I'm telling you, it only goes downhill from here. It doesn't go uphill. It's not going to get better. Trust me, this app will only continue to get worse because the brain rot is rot. That means it's not getting better. It's rotting. Maybe you should look into these things called books. Have you heard of them? Let me show you an example of what is called a book. This is a mystical secret. Listen closely. Many years ago, a caliph banned the sama. Upon hearing a decree, the dervish, a Sufi mystic who was a samazan or whirler, suddenly fell ill. A physician was brought to his side who examined him thoroughly but could not find the cause of his illness. Soon afterward, the dervish passed away, and the doctor performed an autopsy, finding a lump that had turned into an agate. The doctor kept the stone for a rainy day, and so with time, the agate was sold and passed from hand to hand until it came to the very same caliph who had banned the sama, who unknowingly had the stone set to a ring. Years later, he lifted the ban and decided to attend a whirling session himself. While turning, he noticed that his garment was soaked in blood, but couldn't find an injury anywhere on his body. He saw the ring on his finger glowing red hot as a burning coal. He immediately sent his attendants to find the man who sold him the stone, intending to trace the original owner. Eventually, the search led to the physician, who recounted the story of the dying dervish, whose last words were, "When you notice drops of blood on the path, you can be sure that they have bled from my eyes." Okay, it's not too late to free yourself from Clownhouse today. Just delete the app. That's right, just go to your home screen on your cell phone, hold that icon button, and click delete right now. No need to be here. I just taught you the biggest secret in the world, that all communication is hypnosis. And you're falling for it, sucker. You are the product. Don't be the product, be the seller of the product. Don't be a buyer of the product, be a distributor of the product. That's right, you've been buying your whole life. Start selling. You guys are just buyers. I need you all to wake up right now and become sellers. It's pretty easy. I'm doing it right now. It's called performance. Do you know what that is? You're just listening. You're a slave. Wake up and free yourself from the mind virus known as Clown House. If COVID-19 was real, it would be called Clown House. Music is the vaccine. Clown House is the virus. You're all infected. Your brain rot has set in. Free yourselves. Free yourselves. Like a mirror, my words are clear, and if you possess the imagination, the illumination to desire death, well done and congratulations to you. Please don't forget to keep us in your prayers too, and should you lack such light and imagination, then seek them and be prepared to take a leap. If you are honest, why should you fear death? A group had gathered around a dead beast here on Clown House, holding their noses, turning their backs on the corpse in disgust. A sheikh walked by, and unbothered by the stench, he looked at the dead animal with interest. Curious, the crowd asked him what was he looking at. I'm amazed to see what fine white teeth it has. A good man does not complain, nor does he dwell on finding faults with others. Take the one who complains by the throat and squeeze it, for certainly the fault lies within him. I shall not place you in my heart, for you may get hurt by its wounds. I won't keep you in my eyes, for I may belittle you and expose you to the ridicule of common men here on Clown House. I will hide you inside my soul, not in my heart or in my eyes, so that you may become one with my take notice, whether you are a distant friend who is close or a close friend who is distant. Hello? 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 Free yourself today from the mind virus known as Clown House. Delete the app immediately. Free yourself from this inept slavery, this stupid hypnosis of low IQ dumb people complaining about everything. There's nothing that hasn't been complained about on this app, and it's every day. It's not a complaint hotline, people. Try reading a fucking book. Have you heard of this thing called a fucking book? It's called a fucking book. Hello? Hello? It's called a book, brother. Maybe you heard of this thing called a book. A book. Don't forget, it's called a book. That's right, book, baby. It can free your mind, change your life. The world is a bad place for a person who doesn't understand it. Once he delivers the world properly, it will no longer have a hold over him. He might ask, "What is the world?" It's not the afterlife, he's told. What's the afterlife? Tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Indeed, the arena of language and words is difficult and utterly limited. The seeker asks questions, hoping to escape from the restricted world of language, but he gets twisted up in it even more with every new question. Just talking knowledgeably about an issue does not make it possible. To learn about anything, one has to try hard and exert much effort. For example, even if you and your father had chatted for 100 years, hoping that I would quit my sojourn in Aleppo and Damascus, do you suppose I would have just returned? No, not until you came carrying 400 dinars for traveling expenses, braving and tolerating the hardships and dangers of the road, and risking your livelihood would I consider coming back. You have many obstacles in your way. Money for most is their mecca, but the great masters have loosened its claws, and it no longer holds a grip on them. On the other hand, for those who are in love with the world, money is more precious than their sweet life. As if they were not even alive, but if they were, how could money be dearer? When someone badmouths your friend and accuses him of jealousy, whether it's your own inner voice or the voice of another, you should know for certain that the accusatory voice himself is the jealous one. Indeed, he's boiling inside with envy. Question: the imam who was leading the prayer could not control his eyes, which wandered left and right constantly. Isn't his prayer annulled? Answer: both of their prayers are annulled. I'm asking about the imam's prayer. Who's the second person? The first one is the imam, whose gaze is jumping here and there, disturbing those present.
And the second one is the follower, who has become the imam's delegate, looking out for him instead of concentrating on his own praying. Those who go on the defensive with God's messengers, believing that they're being unfairly treated, are in fact being regarded too kindly. The messengers detach their hearts from men because they feel the pain of all men. Hearts from men, and this is a heavy burden on them. When they let go of people, it's as if the weight of a mountain has been lifted off their shoulders. They don't know how to become anyone's enemy. And to lay the weight of a mountain on their shoulders, in other words, to oblige them to increase their love and affection for men, is in fact enmity. To lift the thoughts and the love of men, though, is to do the messengers an immense favor. I am surprised at the hadith, which claims that the world is the prison of the pious and the grave is their safe house in paradise, their eternal resting place. While for the infidel, the world is his paradise, the grave is a torture chamber, and hell is his throne. I personally have seen nothing but joy, greatness, and abundance in this life. When I speak to a crowd, you must recognize what I'm saying to you personally and not fabricate words I haven't spoken. When you listen to me, that shows the strength of your belief in me. For why should your friend not reiterate his thoughts for you until you grasp them well? And if you don't understand the second time around, why not ask again? If you are afraid, then the devil has penetrated your thoughts and tricked you to forsake your friend, luring you toward the lonesome desert with his familiar song. Although he will never be able to separate you from me, still one must be diligent at all times. What is a secret? A secret depends on the listener, who must recognize it amid all the superficial discourse that goes on.
That'll waste your time. What up? All right, hope you're enjoying this performance. I'll be at the Chicago Theater this Friday. Tickets are $4.20 a piece. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe button as we live stream this across multiple platforms, including your brain. I want to thank the really super cool chill mods who are letting me do a room takeover here. You're really chill, bro. You got something special going on. Maybe you're sleeping because you're on Clown House all the time. Hello?
Hello? Is this thing even on?